Alright, let's talk about some absolutely insane news. I wonder how many of you guys know what Outrun is. I would hazard a guess that there's not really that many people that are going to know Outrun or have even heard of it. So I'm going to give you basically a quick rundown. Outrun is a game in which you drive a car really fast and you follow paths that you get to pick, and basically the faster you go, the more points you get. And so the basic idea around Outrun is that it's an arcade game where you try to earn as many points as humanly possible. So why on earth is there an Outrun movie being made featuring Sydney Sweeney that's going to be producing the movie, and Michael Bay, who is going to be directing it? Because this is news to me. I don't think Outrun of all games is something that would require or would get the movie treatment, because keeping in mind the other Sega franchises that did get movie or TV adaptations is stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog, which got 3 movies that did incredibly well, and I cannot wait for Sonic the Hedgehog 4 because it looks like we're going to be introducing Amy Rose. Then you've got stuff like the very unfortunate Yakuza Like a Dragon, or Like a Dragon Yakuza, sorry, on Prime Video, which honestly was an incredibly mixed bag, and as a Yakuza fan, I genuinely did not like. So it's just interesting to see that of all things, Outrun is getting a movie adaptation, because all things considered, so far from stuff that we've, like, other game franchises that we have seen get like adaptations of stuff like the Super Mario Brothers movie. We just recently got the Minecraft movie. There was a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Like, okay, technically you don't need a story in order to make a movie. I mean, if you look at something like, say for example, what was that movie called? The Gran Turismo movie. Gran Turismo doesn't technically have a story. Sure, it's got a campaign, but it's a group of various like races that are tied together to create a campaign, and doesn't necessarily have any sort of narrative thread going alongside it. So in order to make a movie about driving in a simulation or in a simulator, they made a movie about a player, someone who plays a lot of Gran Turismo, who then became an actual race car driver because Gran Turismo is really good at being that sort of driving simulator. And when we look at something like Minecraft doesn't have a story, so they had to make a story out of it. So while a game doesn't necessarily need to have a story in order for there to be an actual, how would I say it, an actual movie to be made about it, you can still make a story up as long as it's kind of within the universe of the thing that you're adapting. So to have something like Outrun just seems absolutely insane of all things, and I don't know why they're doing it. In fact, I'm actually more curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you think that Outrun should get a movie adaptation? Do you think that it's worth giving Outrun the movie treatment? Because the thing is that the only reason why Mario did really well is because the Mario movie, like, Mario's a well-known IP. When something like, what was I gonna say, Five Nights at Freddy's or Minecraft gets a movie, it's because these are massive names in the gaming space, because kids play these games, and kids play these games a lot. It's crazy to think about it, but that's just kind of why these things do really well. Just like Mario's incredibly well known, so is Sonic. Really old heads know what Sonic is. Maybe they might not know what a Minecraft is, but that's where the kids come in. Kids know what Minecraft is. So depending on what age you're talking about, different people are going to know different things. But all of these franchises I've talked about, Five Nights, Minecraft, Mario, Sonic, they've all been exceptionally popular during a period in time, and Outrun has never been particularly popular. It's been good, it's been a fun game if you've been playing during that arcade era, but I don't think a large amount of people are going to know what Outrun is going to be ultimately. I really don't think people are actually going to know. And that's kind of one of the more unfortunate things out of this, is that you're trying to make a movie out of a franchise that doesn't need a movie to be made about it, and above all else, it doesn't really do anything in terms of a story. Because if you try and make a story about it, you'll probably make closer to like an actual how would I put this, something more like a Fast and Furious movie instead. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little bit pessimistic, because you only need a franchise to be popular to make a movie about it, but the movie doesn't have to be good. And to be completely honest, I kind of wish that the movie was good, if I'm being completely honest, because that would make for a great franchise, I think, all in all. But I don't know, maybe you guys can be a better judge of this, because when it comes down to it, when I want to see some game being made into a movie, I'd rather it be a quality game that gets made into a good movie. Because when you look at something like the TV adaptations of Fallout and The Last of Us, at least those stories came from games that were actually good. So say for example, The Last of Us. The Last of Us 1 is an exceptionally good game that made a really good TV adaptation. I can't say too much about The Last of Us 2 because I'm honestly not a fan of the story there, so I'm just not going to dig too much into that, but it seems like people are liking it and actually handling the story a little bit differently, which is actually, you know, more positively received by the people watching the show versus, like, say for example, the way people didn't like how the story of the game was being presented to us. And of course Fallout, tons of people love Fallout. Fallout has done relatively well when it comes to a critical perspective. I would say the one major blip on the radar was Fallout 76 for sure. However, it's worth keeping in mind that, like, the mainline Fallout games have been extremely highly loved by both critics and fans, and of course the TV show did incredibly well in that sense as well, and in fact was actually bagging some awards as well. So it's crazy to think about, but it's also unusual to see that sort of adaptation do well. So I guess with all that being said, let me know what you guys think about all of this, like the fact that they're making a movie adaptation of Outrun being the first thing, but the second thing being that Michael Bay directing it seems a little bit kind of off kilter, on top of which Sydney Sweeney is producer. It really does kind of make me want to scratch my head and think, did anyone really ask for this? Do we really need this? But yeah, you know, I'll kind of leave that up to you guys. But with all that being said, however, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.